I believe the number one reason people are single when they don't want to be is because of the Hollywood myth that you don't have to do anything.
Anybody else see that?
You're just going to sit back, it's going to happen by magic. So I talk to some people and they're like, well, it'll happen. It'll happen. I believe it'll happen when it's right. And we've been indoctrinated this since childhood, of course, with fairy tales, and the handsome prince is going to come along, and for men, they're just going to see the beautiful princess and go rescue her. And then we get older, and then it's in Hollywood where people are meeting and falling madly in love, and that's it. There's nothing about any effort. There's nothing about needing to work on yourself, develop yourself as a human being, that it might be part of a spiritual path, that it might be part of learning to become more loving, and all of these things that I found out in my journey. So I believe that this idea that we have nothing to learn is a lot what's hindering us. We don't have this expectation of anything else that's of value in our lives. We don't expect our careers to just happen. We don't expect that if we want to learn to become fluent in Spanish that we're just going to kind of hang out, and because we live in a bilingual city, we're just going to kind of hang out and pick it up by osmosis and suddenly become native Spanish speakers. We don't expect that if we're going to learn to play the didgeridoo, that we're not going to have to take some lessons, invest some money, maybe go study with a didgeridoo expert, maybe buy some instruments. There's this idea that we should all just know how to date. We should all just know how to find somebody. And when we don't know that, we go online and we read a lot of stuff from other people who don't really know how to do it. So there is a lot to learn. And it's one of what life's greatest treasures, is having a great relationship. There's basically two things, right? There's having a great career and having a great relationship. Those are like the two prizes that I can see, the two gold rings. People understand they're going to need to put some effort into working on their career, but the fantasy that you're not going to have to do anything, especially for women, you're just going to sit and wait. And then guys are supposed to not be afraid to approach. This isn't even true. This is really holding everyone back. I've met people in their 70s who are just still waiting. So we have this tendency to go into a victim mode in our dating life in a way we wouldn't allow ourselves or our friends to do in other parts of our life. If you don't like your job, you would counsel your friend, go get another one. But in dating, we go, yeah, he was a creep. You poor thing. We don't say, go find somebody else. Find yourself somebody. At one time, my coach said to me, this is a little bit advanced, but at one point he said to me, what if it was as easy as you're thirsty? What if it was as easy as you're thirsty, so you go to the store to get some water, and that store doesn't have the water that you were looking for, so you go to another store and just get the water? What if it was that easy?
Or just go to the river.
Go to the river and drink. But what if you went to a different store and you just got some water? After he told me that, I went out that week and got a boyfriend. What if it was that easy? But we're always saying, I can't do that, it's up to other people, it's up to the place, it's up to this, it's up to that. I'm too old, I don't have the right body, the men aren't right, the women aren't right, the setting wasn't right. I would have used to have walked into a room of all you lovely people and I would have gone, there's nobody here that's interesting, without even talking to you. You don't have to raise your hand, but I know there's other people in this room guilty of that as well. But when we actually start meeting each other and finding out how fascinating we are, there's people in here to date. But because we're looking for magic and we're not in charge of our results, we often don't see what's right in front of us. That there's a river flowing, as Sasha is saying. So we're often keeping love away because we are assuming that it's going to happen by magic instead of, I need to, you're not afraid, but a lot of us are afraid to just talk to strangers in this room and find out if there's someone that I would like to know more about. Because if I don't walk in and get struck by magic, then it's a waste of my time. But if I understand that I'm in charge of my results and I'd like to have a good time tonight, I'm going to start talking to people and seeing, maybe I'll even meet another woman to go have coffee with. Maybe if I don't meet a guy tonight, maybe I'll meet a woman and we'll go be wing people for each other, or we find out we like to go to the opera or something. This mindset that I will just sit and not have to do anything keeps me from seeing the love that's right in front of me, or from me taking action on just going and finding someone. If I'm going to find a job, I'm just going to go get a job. I'm going to keep applying until I get one. And I'm going to make it happen. I know most people in this room have that mindset, but we don't apply that to dating or to finding the love of our life. We don't get the support we need to stay on track, because it's hard to date for 3.5 years when somebody you wanted it to go longer with didn't want it to. Somebody really wanted to be with you and you didn't really want to. That feels bad too, right? That you keep going because you're demanding of life. I'm going to get the results that I'm looking for. I'm going to make this happen because that's the only way it's going to happen. It's very empowering if you take it on that way.